I've been a long-haul truck driver for over 10 years. I thought I knew every turn, every pothole, and every truck stop between Oregon and Nebraska. But last November, a heavy snowstorm closed Interstate 80, and my GPS recalculator suggested a detour. Route 9. The local map labeled it as a scenic mountain pass, but the moment my tires touched that cracked, gray asphalt, the atmosphere shifted. The thick pine trees on both sides of the road seemed to lean inward, blocking out the starlight. The fog rolled in so fast it felt like driving into a wall of cold, wet smoke. 10 miles in, my GPS went dead. The screen flickered, showing only a single, repeating, glitchy line. U-turn impossible. That's when I noticed it. Lying on the passenger seat, where nothing had been just a minute ago, was a yellow, stained manila envelope. Inside, written in shaky black ink on a piece of greasy cardboard, was a list. The title read, "The Emergency Protocol for Route 9. I laughed at first. Some local kids trying to scare tourists, I thought. I tossed the cardboard back onto the seat and kept driving. But then my eyes caught the first rule. Rule 1. If your headlights capture a hitchhiker wearing a yellow raincoat, do not slow down, even if she looks like someone you know. She has been waiting there since 1974, and she is very, very hungry. Just 2 miles later, my high beams illuminated a shape on the right shoulder, a figure in a bright, wet yellow raincoat, standing perfectly still. As my truck drew closer, the figure slowly turned. My heart stopped. It had my sister's face, same hair, same eyes, crying out for help. But her jaw was unhinged, hanging too low, stretching her skin in an impossible, wide smile. My foot slammed on the gas. My engine screamed as the truck roared past her. In the side mirror, I saw her start to run. She wasn't running like a human. She was on all fours, keeping pace with my heavy rig at 70 miles an hour, her pale hands clawing at the asphalt. I closed my eyes, prayed to a God I hadn't spoken to in years, and didn't look back until the darkness swallowed her. By midnight, my fuel gauge was dangerously close to empty. That's when the third rule from the cardboard flashed in my mind. Rule 3. You will see a gas station called The Last Drop. If you must stop to refuel, do not look at the reflection in the glass window of the station booth. The person inside is not the cashier. It is the thing that built the station. The neon sign of The Last Drop flickered through the fog like a dying star. I pulled in, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grab the fuel nozzle. The air smelled like old copper and burnt hair. I kept my eyes locked on the gas pump screen. 8 gallons, 12 gallons, 20 gallons. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the glass window of the cashier's booth. It was dark inside, but in the reflection of the glass, I saw myself standing at the pump. But in the reflection, there was another man standing right behind me. He had his hands wrapped around my neck, his long, gray fingers slowly tightening. I felt a cold, physical pressure on my throat in the real world. I gasped for air, ripped the nozzle out, and jumped back into the cab. I didn't even wait to put the gas cap back on. The road seemed to go on forever. No mile markers, no exit signs, just the endless, suffocating black pine trees. I picked up the rule book again, my eyes scanning the blurred text under the dim cabin light. Rule 6. If your truck cabin suddenly grows freezing cold and your windows fog up from the inside, do not turn on the heater. Turn off all the lights inside the vehicle. Someone has just joined you in the back seat. Suddenly, my breath turned into white mist. The temperature in the cab dropped to below freezing in a matter of seconds. I could hear the frost cracking on the windshield. My hand immediately flew to the dome light switch, turning it off. Then, in the absolute darkness of the cabin, I heard it. A soft, wet inhalation of air, right behind my right ear. "Why didn't you stop for me?" a voice whispered. It was my sister's voice again, but warped, dripping with malice. "It's so cold outside." I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles bled. I stared straight ahead, refusing to look at the rearview mirror. If I looked, I knew I would die. I began to count to 100 out loud, my voice trembling. The breathing behind me got louder, more aggressive, hot air brushing against my neck. On count 99, the temperature suddenly shot back to normal. The pressure was gone. I thought I had made it. The fog began to clear, and in the distance, I saw the bright highway lights of Interstate 80. I let out a breath I felt like I'd been holding for hours. I survived. But as I drove closer to the exit, my headlights illuminated a green road sign at the intersection. It didn't say Interstate 80. It said, "Welcome to Route 9, population 0. My heart plummeted. I looked down at the passenger seat. The yellow envelope was gone. In its place was a new piece of cardboard. Written on it was a single sentence. Rule 8. There is no exit. Welcome to your new shift. If you are driving tonight and your GPS tells you to take a detour, please just stay on the highway, because I've been driving on Route 9 for 3 days now, and the sun still hasn't risen.